Hey all, good morning and welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here, and we begin a fresh week with the US stock index futures, which are rising ahead of market open today, building on last week's gains as Wall Street eyes further AI deal making. There is news about OpenAI and AMD getting together, and there is ongoing government shutdown effects that are taking place and expectations of an interest rate cut this quarter. The S&P 500 and Dow finished last week at absolute record highs, while Nasdaq saw mild profit taking, and today's pre-market strength reflects broad optimism despite delayed economic data and a continued lack of clarity on federal funding. Top headlines for October 6, 2025 shows Wall Street futures are gaining pre-market with S&P 500, Nasdaq 100, and Dow Jones all up early Monday despite government shutdown uncertainty. AI-driven deal-making, including fresh moves by major tech players, is boosting sentiment and supporting the price action as investors anticipate the next Federal Reserve meeting at the end of the month. Major economic data releases such as the job reports remain delayed due to government shutdown, and that leaves traders focused on corporate earnings and Fed commentary this week. Market movers and sector watch indicates that semiconductor and AI chips are experiencing renewed momentum. NVDA reached a record 4.5 trillion market cap last week, underscoring the sector's dominance. And this week, OpenAI and AMD getting together is going to be the catalyst for AMD to start taking a bit of a lead out there. Gold and Bitcoin have hit fresh highs in response to macro uncertainty and investor appetite for refuge assets. And I personally think that there is a stream of market that is going into gold and Bitcoin and commodities in order to be risk averse, whereas there is a whole lot of market participants who are just on FOMO mode and keeping on buying and buying every dips. And that's what is the current state, in my opinion. And pre-market stock gainers include a name like Acatelis or ACTELIS, Acatelis Network, ASNS is the ticker symbol for it. Then Brand Engagement Network or BNAI, Dragonfly Energy Holdings or DFLI, and Excel Brands, XLEB. These are the pre-market gainers today. And results today include Constellation Brand, that is the only known name I could find from the ones on result today. And that can also create a little bit of a movement. Gainers always have a potential to lose a bit of stream as profit taking takes place. So check those things out. Investors are largely shrugging off shutdown as a sidebar, with consensus expecting S&P 500 to test 7,000 by year end unless impasse ends further and triggers adverse effect. I personally think shutdown and furloughs can improve the prospects of a rate cut as the economy suffers further due to loss of demand and shrinking GDP. The question then is, when is the market going to start thinking that bad news is bad news and therefore market should drop? Because right now, bad news is good news sentiment is going on. So further rate cuts will be cheered and the market will go up further. So we have to watch for that change in the sentiment. And Federal Reserve officials are scheduled to speak later in the week. Markets are looking for clues on rate policy in the absence of fresh jobs or inflation data. And in overseas markets, I can see that Asian markets are mixed, with Japan's Nikkei at record levels, while Europe's investor morale improved more than expected in October, helping support global sentiment. There is a government or political uncertainty in France with the new prime minister resigning. We have to see what happens in that space further. And the Russia-Ukraine conflict also has got Europe and the US in a situation where we are looking at probably divergence out there. So the big question is $90 billion of arms that Zelensky is talking about. Who is going to pay for it, and where it is going to be manufactured? Are the orders going to US, or are they going to European arms manufacturers? So those things I'm watching carefully, and maybe they can give us clues as to where we are going to go next. Now let's go on to look at our TradingView platform, and we are here in the S&P 500 futures. We are looking at S&P 500 daily candles out here. This chart is all daily candles. And we had a target here for a bull flag of around 7,021, but then we got a topping tail. I'm just going to recalibrate this chart so you can see it better in your smaller devices. This is a topping tail, and we have not yet cleared the topping tail. So that remains the dominant feature out here. Unless the topping tail is cleared off and we close above the topping tail, the bearish effects will continue to persist. So we have to watch that. Today, pre-market, the pre-market trade is already up 0.34%. Are we going to be able to extinguish this today? That is the question. NASDAQ looks better than S&P 500. It also had a topping tail which has not been cleared off. So we are aiming to do that right now with a gain of 0.75%. We are in a very good position to wipe off this topping tail and aim for a resistance of 25,346.50. So maybe tomorrow or day after, we could aim to clear this diagonal line of resistance and convert that into a support. If that happens, we are looking at phenomenal gains of around 26,718.75. That's where we would aspire to end the NASDAQ. Anything can happen in the market, so we have to keep an open mind. Fundamentals are screaming that things are really bad, but market sentiment is showing that we are going ahead. Therefore, I would say that we have to take advantage of the momentum, but be ready to sell at very short notice. But unfortunately, once you sell, getting back in is difficult. I have sold many, so getting back in is difficult. And still holding on to gold and still holding on to some of the stocks which are moving up. But if I sell it, I would have a tough time getting in because the valuations are very high. Dollar index is recovering and it will probably face a resistance today at 98.50. And we have the VIX, which is also elevated. It's up 0.90% in pre-market trades. We had a topping tail out here and we had a topping tail out here, which was not closed out. So VIX is looking very weak. And for most people who are in this market, I think an area to trade would be to look at a VIX ETF, which can be bought because VIX is at his historically low levels with a whole lot of fundamental problems. So I'm looking at the possibility of buying some VIX ETF because VIX might spurt anytime. And the moment it spurts, one can realize gains in the ETF and sell it off. That's a trade idea I'm looking at. Again, these are all personal opinion, not financial advice. So please be very careful. Now, we have met and exceeded our target for gold of 3,881. So that is done and dusted. So now we have to look for new signals, new chart patterns. Now the question becomes, what is the next aspirational target for gold? For that, I would like to take you to my weekly chart and recalibrate my chart a little bit. So friends, now my weekly chart says in the absence of any chart pattern forming out here, we are looking at gains of around 4869 points, around 4869 or 4873 is where we are likely to go as of today, because this is a dynamic line of resistance. I would say 4873 is probably the aspirational target as of today. Can we go there all at once? No, that's not possible. It will take a long time to reach there. And during that long period of time, we will need to create new chart structures. Those chart structures or chart patterns can be bullish or bearish. They could be a series of bull flags, which can take us there. And depending on how long it takes, the target keeps on going up, the resistance keep on going up. So there is more and more room. And if you are curious how I got that, let me go back, recalibrate the chart and show you what I have out here. I'm going to the monthly chart so that we can see how this came to be. Please bear with me. This is a problem with the platform. So you got to be a little patient with me on this one. And I will reveal everything the way I see it. Okay, so here we are. We go all the way back to the topping tail we had on 1st of May 06, after which we had a lot of consolidation and then we broke out. And then we come to 3rd of March when we came very close to this line. And then we come to 1st of August, and then we come to 1st of September. So in this monthly candle, you can see we got 1, 2, 3 touch points, and that gives us this line which indicates that we can go all the way up. So, okay, so that's a long story short for you. Then I'm going back into my daily chart and looking at the put call ratio, which has become slightly bullish, between bullish and neutral. 0.70 is what I will consider as bullish for PCC. So you can imagine the bullishness out here. It's not absolute, but it's not even neutral. It's still a little bit bullish. Now let's go on and have a look at AI. NVDA is down 0.55% in pre-market trade. I'm curious to see what's happening to AMD. So I'm going to jump up. AMD is up 32.76. And that's also probably weighing in on NVIDIA. Now, NVIDIA had a target, reverse head and shoulder target of 202.98. We have to watch what happens with NVIDIA going forward, because the last two candles were red, and today's candle could potentially be a green candle if we improve after market open. But support happens to be at 183.37. Meta is up 0.20%, but I think it has got a target of 652.52, which we are probably looking at, and I'll chalk this out as a bear flag. Then we look at Google. Google is down 0.18. I'm still not willing to write out Google because we have a flag pattern out here. So this is a bull flag. And I think the bull flag is forming out here. I would wait to see what happens. I want to see more candles coming up. And in the interim, if I start seeing a reverse head and shoulder pattern out here or any other bullish patterns, then I would chart it out further. But as of now, this is a bull flag and we have not yet become bearish, in my opinion. And we have Amazon, which is up 0.68% in pre-market trades. Unfortunately, it is back below the minor line of resistance, which had become a support yesterday morning, because yesterday morning we opened above this, but we got pushed back down again. So I'm going to mark this red. And this is going to be a resistance for us today at around 222.64. I think Amazon is under the influence of a reverse head and shoulder with a potential target of 205.65. Apple is up 0.36% in pre-market trades, and it is forming a bull flag. I think that Apple is going to be bullish. Pre-market, it's up 0.36%. We want to see a breakout further, and then we can measure out how high it can go. Microsoft is up 0.36% in pre-market trades. It continues to have support at 514.69. I'm going to mark this green. And then we are looking at Tesla. There is some teaser from Elon Musk, which potentially talks about good prospect. Again, all of those things, anything from Elon Musk is going to be positive for Tesla. So Tesla is trying to regain again. So Tesla is up 2.11% in pre-market trades. I would expect it to hit a resistance at 444.20. Let's see what happens there. Oracle is up 2.32%, but I still believe that it's looking for a gap fill. So expect Oracle to cool down going forward. AMD is up 34.13% on the back of a big news out here of AMD and OpenAI getting together. Friends, I'm thinking that OpenAI doesn't have the income to justify this kind of investment and this kind of valuation. So I think it's a big bubble. Both of you who are online and anybody else who is watching this live stream, please put in the comment section what you think about it. Are we seeing a huge snowball being formed which can turn into an avalanche and come crashing down the mountain? I would like to hear from you guys. I'm not really happy about this AMD OpenAI because of the valuation aspect, but I'm happy that we are now going to have competition between NVDA and AMD, so that spreads out the risk and kind of tempers the hot NVIDIA stock. But OpenAI is becoming a big bubble. So I want to hear from you. What do you think? SLCI is also moving up. I think it has got a reverse head and shoulder pattern, so it's going to continue moving up. Hot Dog is saying, I'm out of all American stocks except Genomics. Thanks for your feedback, Hot Dog. And TechTube, if you have any feedback, please let me know. We are a retail investor community, so I value all of your feedback as well. I'm also a retail investor. So anything goes. Broadcom is down 0.14% in pre-market trades. It's going to get support today at around 331.65. Palantir is up 2.80%. I had actually put some money into Palantir based on the cup and handle pattern. I had put it prematurely. I believe I should have waited a little more. I was a bit eager, but we had a huge red candle. Today we have a recovery of a little bit. Let us see what happens with this out here. And we go to SMH, Semiconductor ETF, which I had mentioned is something that we have to watch, because if it falls, it will take the index along with it, because semiconductors are the ones which are driving the entire index. So it is up 2.59% this morning. It has gone above this diagonal line of resistance, and it is going to get support today at 341.70. Right now it's at 345.50. Hot Dog is saying last year I was 50% Max 7, now I'm 50% China. Yes, I think China has got a lot of liquidity and it's moving up. And with the new multipolar world, China can have a lot of influence in places like Africa and other places. Yeah, I'm more in cash, Hot Dog. I'm more than 60% in cash. Nice to hear what you're doing out here. Yeah, all the best to you. Tempus AI is again moving up. There is this topping tail that we have to break. Can Tempus AI be able to do that? We are watching that. If it breaks this, then there's a good chance for entering it. If it breaks and confirms above 97.83, right now it is looking pretty good. Pre-morning, it's at 1.65 in the pre-market session. Applied is up 3.81%. There's a huge topping tail out here, which is still bearish. Are we going to be able to close it out, or are we going to create another red candle today? We'll have to watch that. In any case, support is at $25. Now I'm going to go on to Genomics, because this is where we are interested in. With regard to Prime, I would give you a big caution. There is a topping tail pattern. Of course, a topping tail should have a long tail, but in the absence of a long tail and in the absence of any other chart pattern, I'm thinking that gives me a little bit of a caution. If we close above 6.92, I would say Prime is still on the track to reach 7.21. And then we got Intelia. Intelia is going really strong, and it has got a support today at around 19.78. Pre-market, it's up 4.76%. And I think it's going to do well today. Let's look at Caribou Biosciences, which is flat in pre-market trades. We still have a target of 2.43, and I'm thinking we are looking at a bull flag out here, which should break out on the upside and help us meet this target. And let's go on to Beam. Beam is up 1.75%. We have a target out here for 29.05. I believe Beam is moving in that direction, but I'd be really happy if we form an interim bull flag, because this target is from a previous bull flag. Next, let us look at Altimmune, which is down 0.26%. It still is on a gentle bull slope, and I'm still invested in Altimmune. And for today, it's going to have a support at 3.72. Editas is up 1.28% in pre-market trades. And I don't know what's going to happen with Editas. I don't see any chart patterns out here. The fact is, market is bullish, MACD is bullish, momentum is above average, and I would peg at the very least we can go up to 75.71 on the RSI scale. So there is further growth up for Editas. And then we look at Illumina. Illumina is still struggling to break 103.28, and that's going to be the resistance for today for Illumina. And as far as the next one, CRISPR, is concerned, this is again something most of our stockholders are looking at, our audience is looking at. CRISPR is up 2.75% today. We had met and exceeded our target of 73.49, and we had come back down again on Friday. Today we have regained half of that momentum. I'm looking for a new consolidation out here. I want a new bull flag to form out here, or a new bullish pennant to form out here, so that I can create new targets. But right now, I think our reverse head and shoulder target has been met and exceeded. So I'll be very cautious with CRISPR right now. Allogene is up 6.02%, and in the process, it has broken a resistance of 1.35. I want to see us confirm that 1.35 is a support, and we will do that by, first of all, closing today above it, and tomorrow closing above today's closing. So that will confirm this support, and then we'll start analyzing it further. But right now, that's all I can see. And let's go on to Grail. Grail has already met and exceeded our cup and handle target of 61.16, and we have a very cautionary topping tail out here. So I would be very careful about Grail. And if I have Grail, I might probably sell some calls or take some protection or take partial profits, because this topping tail has to be extinguished. We don't know if it will be or it will not be. This morning, we are starting out very strong with a gain of 4.13%. But remember, Grail President Joshua has sold around 9,692 shares 2 days ago. So he's already taken profits. So those are some of the hints that you can take. The other factor is that our RSI resistance level was around 85.02. We are already past that. So anytime we have to turn around, and that's what we saw with this topping tail. So be absolutely careful, my friends. Again, everything I say here is not financial advice. All of that is personal opinion. I'm a retail investor like yourself. So be careful. Then we look at PACB. PACB is up 1.13%. Reverse head and shoulder pattern has already been met and exceeded. So now we are looking for new patterns. This line of resistance has now become a line of support, and we have to confirm about the closing out here so that we can say that this line has been confirmed. So we're going to watch out for that today, and then that will determine where we go next. ARCG is up 1.43%, and we had a doji candle out here. We're already on top of it. So if we close above this, the doubt will be extinguished and we'll start forming new patterns. And a bull flag was here, which we failed to note before. So this was the flagpole for the bull flag, and it broke out from here. So the target for this bull flag is 30.53. So we had to touch 30.53, and we had gone all the way up to 30.55. So we have already met this target. So let us see what happens next. Vertex is up 0.42%. It was consolidating a lot. Now I think it's going to aim for a gap fill if it breaks above this resistance of 413.53. And Ginkgo Bioworks is up 1.24% in pre-market trades as this huge topping tail which has to be overcome. The previous topping tail was overcome, but this one has to be overcome. We'll see what happens when the market opens. Unicure is up 2.23%. Bull flag is being created, but there is a huge gap about here. So we'll have to see. When the breakout happens, this gap up is going to attract like a magnet to pull the price down. We are at very elevated levels on both the RSI as well as the market sentiment. So let's watch this going forward. I'm going to go to Precision. Precision has been steadily coming down, and it's on a bear channel, and we have a support at 3.05 for Precision. This morning, it's up 1.54%, but friends, in the past, it has been up, and it has created red candles, which means it has opened higher and closed lower. So we'll watch this pattern because everything else is bearish for Precision. And then Eli Lilly is up again. It's doing very well. It's come to the edge of the regression channel, and the regression channel has pushed it down. Let us see if we can break out from it today. If we don't break out from there, then the median will start attracting it back down again. And then I want to look at Ultragenics, that is RARE. RARE is moving on a bull channel, in my opinion, and this is going to be a support today of around 30.25. Sorry, 30.20 is going to be the support for today. And pre-market, we are up 0.13%. And that's about it for today, my friends. Then we go on to currencies. Where is currencies? Open the list. Go to currencies. And in currencies, I want to look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is doing fabulous. Bitcoin is doing fabulous. I want to recalibrate the chart so that we can see everything properly. I had put a target of 126,304 for Bitcoin based on chart patterns. So I think we are marching towards the Bitcoin target. On Friday, I was a bit worried because we have a topping tail. The topping tail is still in operation until we close above that. So I would advise a range of caution as well as optimism out here, because the previous Let me just expand this for you to show you clearly what I'm talking about. Okay, so we have a target already out here, and the target takes us to 126,400 plus. Okay, but on Friday, but we had a topping tail on Thursday, and I think what is the date out here? Sorry, this is Sunday, October 25th. So there is this topping tail out here. That topping tail is still in operation, so you have to be careful. This morning we are up 0.84%, and we are moving towards the topping tail top. And if we close above this today, then I would say this topping tail is gone. But in my opinion, I think we are moving towards a target of 126,316. That's the best probability. There are many times when we come very close to the target and then we turn around. That's also a possibility. So be very cautious today. And then we go on to look at Ethereum. Ethereum has managed to come above this diagonal line of support. And for today, I think the support is going to be at 4,582. We are at 4,594. So we are looking good right now. And I don't have any new chart pattern to talk about out there. So I'm going to watch that until I get further information. Solana is up 2.51% today. And we have a cup and handle pattern forming, but I can't call that out yesterday. I can't call that out as yet because yesterday we had a very bearish pattern out here. I won't call this a topping tail, but it's quite bearish. So let us see where we close out today, and then we'll make a call. And then we have XRP USD, which we continue to watch on a regular basis. I think there's a double bottom out here, and I think the double bottom is also a bullish target. And we have the bullish pennant out here, for which we have already drawn a target of around 4.62. We have a resistance out here at 3.12, and that's also the neckline for the double bottom. So we have to wait and watch what happens with the XRP. XRP may follow Bitcoin if Bitcoin breaks through and continues to move above. So there's a lot in store for XRP. That said, I think I'm at the end of this session. I would like you to check out our Substack. I've just started a Substack, and I put my first post out there. The idea is that whenever I make topic-specific videos, I'll be putting my detailed script out there in the Substack, in a Substack format, so that you can get information that you could not get in the YouTube video, because I keep the YouTube video short, because the viewer retention is very short, attention span is short. So you can always check it out there, my friends. So with that, I would like to say that I'm done with the session today. Unless you have any questions for me or any tickers that you want me to do analysis on, I would like to finish the session. Thanks, Hotdog, for joining the Substack, and thanks to you for giving me all the motivation and support. I hope with your support and that of others, we'd be able to really form a retail investor community that can move the markets. We are working towards that. It's a very long path, and I have to improve my technical analysis and get more people to come and join out here. But your support is most appreciated. Thanks, guys. I'll catch up with you again in the next session, unless you have any ticker symbol that you want to talk about, or if you want to give some pointers to the extended ShareTreck community, any stock that they should look at. Otherwise, I'm done for the day. I'll go have my breakfast, and I'll catch up with you again in my next video.